The feds are finally waking up and taking Ali Carter seriously. After months of brushing her off, they just hit the court with all the receipts. Everything is out in the open now. Turns out, while everybody thought Ali had vanished into thin air, she was actually hidden in witness protection this whole time. She's been working with law enforcement for nearly a year, ever since her home got broken into by armed men, something eerily similar to what happened to Jaguar Wright. And when she spoke out about it, they didn't just listen. They snatched her and her family up and put them into protection immediately. But here's where it gets even darker. Ali hasn't just been exposing Hollywood's shady secrets. She's been laser-focused on what allegedly happened to the kids. According to what's being said, Diddy wasn't just stealing kids from their families and flying them into the U.S. He was reportedly using them in creepy, ritualistic acts and recording these disturbing sessions to keep as his own rewards. These claims are straight-up haunting, and if what's being said is true, it paints a horrifying picture of what's really been going down behind closed doors in that mansion. The moment Ali Carter dropped that chilling video, everything changed. She looked dead into the camera and said she didn't think she'd be alive much longer, that she and her family were being hunted like prey by armed men. That was the final straw for the feds. After that post, they moved quick and put her into official witness protection. Ali wasn't just being paranoid, she had real reason to be terrified. In the video, she said if anything happened to her, if she ended up dead, we needed to know it was because of them. She believed those armed men had been paid off to track her and her family down, all to destroy any evidence she might have had against whoever they were working for. And the most jaw-dropping part, she went live to show the aftermath. Her house had been completely torn apart. Furniture flipped, drawers yanked open, belongings tossed everywhere. It looked like a war zone, and the message was crystal clear. We were here and we're watching you.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the price. This is the price of speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marx, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other of my. So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize everything that they're saying. When you realize that shit is bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go to them?
Haven't been keeping tabs on Ali Carter, you're probably asking yourself, what exactly did she expose that had these powerful folks this shook? Why would someone go so far as to try and silence her? The answer's wild but simple. Ali's been relentlessly calling them out for what they allegedly did to children. And the details? They're straight up sickening. Before she disappeared, Ali dropped claims that had the whole internet in a chokehold. She said Diddy and his twisted inner circle were allegedly snatching up people's kids and forcing them into disturbing freak-off situations involving animals, yes, even horses and dogs. And to make it worse, she said these horrific acts were recorded, not for blackmail, but allegedly for their own twisted entertainment. And that's not even the worst part. According to Ali, these kids weren't just abused, they were tortured. She claims they were chained up in heavy metal restraints, while so-called Illuminati rituals were being performed on them by Diddy and his crew. She didn't name exact locations, but said she witnessed these horrors during her time working in the industry. Ali says most of the kids involved never made it out, and the few who did, they weren't the same anymore. Mentally, emotionally, just broken. According to her, Diddy and his circle didn't just ruin lives, they destroyed souls, and that right there is why Ali's truth had them panicking. Yeah, it's a lot, and some of y'all are probably asking, where were these kids taken from? Why didn't anybody report them missing? Well, according to Ali, most of these children weren't even from the U.S. They were being shipped in from struggling countries, vulnerable, undocumented, and easy to disappear. Even worse, Ali claims that some parents actually gave up their own kids, handed them over to Diddy in exchange for a check. Imagine that. And this isn't just speculation. The feds even mentioned this in Diddy's official indictment. They didn't go into full detail, but they did bring up some disturbing crimes. Ali, on the other hand, didn't sugarcoat anything. She laid it all out. The court docs said, and this is a direct quote, Combs relied on employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, forced labor, kidnapping, bribery, and obstruction of justice. But Ali didn't stop there. She spilled even more. She said those freak-offs Diddy hosted were strictly controlled. He allegedly demanded that the boys involved not eat anything until it was all over, because some of his associates didn't want them accidentally going to the bathroom during the act. And here's where it gets even nastier. Ali said that a few of Diddy's alleged associates were into douche fetishes. Yep. According to her, certain boys were handpicked and made to intentionally get sick. So they'd end up having diarrhea during the freak-offs. That was part of the whole twisted experience. This isn't just messed up, it's demented. And it doesn't stop there. Ali claimed Diddy had a signature party night called Pig Night, which he allegedly got the idea for from Hugh Hefner himself. Sources say Hef would host similar events, sitting at the head of the table, puffing on his pipe while stars from TV and film wined, dined, and rated women before sneaking off for private sessions. But here's the sick irony. Despite everyone in the mansion calling it Pig Night behind the scenes, Hugh refused to let anyone actually call the women pigs. He allegedly demanded that nobody say it out loud, even though that's exactly how they were being treated. Ali's testimony is painting a whole new picture of what went down behind those celebrity gates. And honestly, it's beyond disturbing. But Diddy wasn't the only one Ali put on blast. She also called out Akon for some seriously shady behavior involving his own friend and a disturbing party setup. According to Ali, she and her friend got invited to a party by Akon and one of his boys from Dubai. But when they showed up, the vibe switched real quick. Ali says the whole thing turned into a full-blown setup. She claims their drinks were spiked, and once they were out cold, Akon's Dubai friend allegedly started assaulting her friend in the most graphic and violating way, pushing his fist down her private parts while she was unconscious. But here's the part that had the internet side-eyeing Ali. Despite all that, she admitted she wasn't even mad at Akon. In fact, she said she still hooked up with him that same night. People were straight up confused, like, how could she go through that and still sleep with the host of the party where it all went down? That moment made a lot of folks doubt her entire story. Back when she first dropped all these bombshells, people were calling her a liar and saying she was just clout chasing. But fast forward to now, and everything's different. Word on the street is Ali's been deep in witness protection, and the evidence she gave the feds? Yeah, it's reportedly being used in Diddy's ongoing legal case. So those claims that once seemed too wild to believe might just be the key to locking Diddy all the way up. Word is Diddy's legal team tried to shut everything down by painting Ali Carter as unstable. Crazy even, but the prosecutors ain't falling for that one bit. In fact, they're reportedly pushing hard to make sure every piece of evidence Ali turned over gets used in court. And not just that, there's talk that she might even be officially listed as one of Diddy's victims. Meanwhile, the internet's buzzing with reactions. One person said, "I felt it in my gut that she was going to end up going MIA before his trial because of her speaking out. I wish she would have just waited until after the trial to reveal herself, praying that she and her family are alive and well. No weapons formed against her shall prosper." Another person chimed in, questioning the whole situation. If she was that crucial, then why was she not already in witness protection? Did she refuse it? Why hasn't there been any official statement? And then Ali dropped another bombshell. She allegedly said there was a former president at one of those infamous parties with an underage person. If true, that connects even more powerful names to this whole mess, and it could explain why she became such a target. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about Ali Carter exposing Diddy like this? And do you believe she's really in witness protection right now? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. This story is only getting crazier.